Good evening, good night, happy Saturday to everybody out there. Welcome, viewers. Welcome, SOBs. Welcome, Glass Cannon Nation, to a special Stream of Blood Glass Cannon Network crossover, Blood and Glass, the fourth installment of our Blades in the Dark actual play campaign here on Twitch. My God, this has been my favorite game I've played in months, just learning how this game works and how different it is from the other games I play. This has a special place in my heart. So I'm glad you can be here to share it with us. And I'm glad that we're doing it for a special cause tonight. And we'll tell you a little bit more about that in a moment. First, I would like to congratulate the new president and vice president of the United States, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Congratulations. If any of you know them personally, please pass on that the Stream of Blood congratulates them and wishes them well in their new roles. And, I'm not going to say that Donald Trump was a bad president, but I am hearing fireworks that he won't be the president anymore. And I don't remember anybody else ever getting that, where they were so happy you were gone that fireworks went off. That's just my way of warning you. You might hear some explosions, and that's because people are celebrating. I hope you celebrated today, whether it was politically motivated or otherwise. And I hope this gives you a little bit of entertainment in the evening. Let me bring in your three players, and oh gosh, are they fantastic at what they do. I'm going to bring in our SOB mainstay first. This is a guy that's always playing multiple roles on this Stream of Blood, the man of many character sheets, we call him, an erudite reader, a talented actor, and so much fun to play with. Please welcome, as pretty Marco Coyle, the cutter, Mr. Ross Bryant.
Hey, yes. Well, hello.
Hi, how's it going?
I'm still riding on residual excitement from today. Who knows why? Why moods seem to be a little bit more effervescent. Smiles seem to come a little quicker to people's faces. Who knows why?
Who knows why? And if I suddenly break into tears of happiness midstream, it probably doesn't have to do with a really good Destiny roll in the Blades of the Dark universe, but maybe it does. Dude, how's it going? So you're feeling good. Are you ready to see what's next for Marco? He had a rough recession last time.
Yeah. Man, thrills, chills, and spills. He witnessed some. He got into some serious mix-ups. Had some pretty intense, over-the-top-esque arm wrestling.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Took over a smuggler crew, but then ended up fully stressed out with a dang knife in his back.
Yeah, ouch. Well, luckily, it's now time for downtime, so he'll have a little opportunity to recover some of that stress, maybe fix that knife wound in his old back.
Yeah.
And now he's got a cool new scar.
Yeah, and it's not in his gorgeous face.
Speaking of interesting scars, this next guy, his body is covered in interesting scars and tattoos, but you can't see them in the stream because we're just face up. He is a game master, a player, an impresario, a good pal, longtime pal of our producer Brian Bollinger, and a new pal of me and Ross in the whole Stream of Blood. Please welcome from the Glass Cannon, as the exotic slide, Pontiac Zoe from the far off Isle of Tycheros. Please welcome Troy Lavallee.
Oh, hello.
Hey, buddy. How's it going?
Good. That was a great list of titles, but I'm a little bummed out because no one will ever introduce me as an erudite reader. And I like to read, but no one will ever precede my introduction with that.
I'm making a note.
Yeah.
I'm making a note.
Yes, it's coming. I'll buy it.
Look forward to
I say that because Ross always, every time he comes on the stream, he has a tome from his occult library. Ross owns many esoteric books that he shows us when we start the stream.
I'm faking it. Next time I'll be introduced as a borderline illiterate ding-dong.
I started a book the 2 months before my son was born. and he turned 2 in July, and I'm still reading that book.
What, can I ask what book it is?
The Cat in the Hat.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
It's
Hey,
just
you
it's,
gotta that one has a great twist at the end. You gotta really keep
no
with it.
spoils.
it's a real page turn. No, it's a long book. It's from the if you like fantasy reading, it's from the Stormlight Archive.
Hell yeah.
And so I read book 1, loved it, book 2, and then I don't know if it's the book 3 or just my inability to focus on anything that has made me hate. It's just become a slog at this point. But people like, no, it's the greatest. You got to get through book 3. I don't know. I can't.
I feel like this year people either read 70 more books or they lost the ability to read at all.
And I fell into the latter category.
Well, that's cool. Stormlight Archive is incredible. And let's bring in our next player. This guy, oh man, I mean, he's a huge Blades in the Dark fan. He knows the game. He also knows his role as Archibald Gray, the cunning spider. And what a thrill and a pleasure to play with this man. Please welcome everybody from the Glass Cannon Network, Joe O'Brien.
Hey, what's up,
buddy.
guys? I really think you're missing out keeping me muted before I come on because I'm laughing so hard at all your jokes. It would really support your stream to hear my uproarious laughter.
We'll tell that to Secret Game Master Clint. Secret Game Master Clint, make a note, just like I made a note to introduce Troy as an erudite reader. Next time, no muting for Joe. So we'll probably see him. You'll probably hear him in the middle of my intro. Yeah, in the middle of my intro, he'll be like, "No, I took a shit. I don't know. Watch it again."
I just think every pod needs a super fan, and I'm a super fan of the Stream of Blood, Blades in the Dark, Glass Cannon crossover. I am so excited to play tonight. It's just this game, this campaign it's now become.
Yeah,
everything about it. I can't wait to get back into it.
I feel the exact same way. I think that we should talk briefly, though. I should let you guys talk briefly about one of the reasons we're here. What can you tell us, and what can you tell the viewers about the Extra Life Foundation?
Yeah, so we signed up for this 3 years ago. We did it in 2017 when we were just a fledgling ragtag group of nerds with one show. And we raised $5,000. We played for 24 hours straight, mostly video games. I don't think we did any tabletop. And we just kind of limped our way in with our meager equipment to try and get a stream going, raised $5,000. So we hadn't, every year it come up, we were like, last minute, like we can't do a 24-hour stream. We can't even do a 2-hour stream. And we kept missing it 2018, 19. I said, this year, let's try and do something. Let's go crazy, see if we can ride.
Well, we're home all the time.
Yeah,
now.
you might as
know
well.
what I mean?
Right.
It was the perfect opportunity to get back on the wagon.
Yeah, so I was like, I wonder if we can let's try and raise $20,000, and we hit it this afternoon. We're already at $25,268. I think we can get to 30 by the end of Stream of Blood. What do you got?
Congratulations! Come on,
Congrats.
30K.
While we are murdering and thieving and doing drugs here on the stream, let's get it up to 5,000 for charity, guys. Can we do it out for the kids? Come on, guys, can we do it? I'm seeing responses. It's going to happen. So, thank you all for being here. Thank you for donating. Thank you for helping for this cause. Troy and Joe, thanks for bringing me and Ross in on it. Who's ready to play some Blades in the Dark?
I am absolutely ready.
One, please.
Let's do it, baby. Here is your recap. In our last session, the Tin Whistles, a crew of smugglers operating out of the abandoned rail yard in Coleridge, targeted another gang's turf. They went after a crew of smugglers called the Foghounds with the objective of stealing their boat and their routes into the city. The Tin Whistles proved they were ambitious indeed by approaching this job as a social con, joining the Foghounds crew and then subtly manipulating the gang's members into conflict with one another. The slide Pontiac Zoe, played by Troy, seduced and mesmerized the Foghounds captain Margette Vale. The cutter Pretty Marco Coyle arm wrestled the second in command Bear, causing him to lose face with the crew. And Archibald Gray, the spider, set the navigator Goldie up for a hard fall, in addition to learning how to pilot a steamship in mere seconds. Ultimately, it was the Tin Whistles who delivered the strange contraband cargo, the pale body of a young woman, to its recipient, Lord Strangford. Goldie was presumably dead, Margette was a broken woman, and Bear escaped to fight another day. The Tin Whistles took the Foghound's ship, and they may have taken their rendezvous location, a riverside ruin under the streets of Duskfall. I think, yes, there we go. The Foghound is the name of the ship.
We have a ship.
We have a ship.
Yes. So you definitely have the ship now, but I wanted to touch a little bit on just a little epilogue before we get into what your characters are on to next. I think that people died in that underground rendezvous, that where you were making the deal, where you were trading the cargo, where you sort of took over the Foghound's job and delivered that body to Lord Strangford. People died, and that means in Duskfall, the spirit bells ring, and the spirit wardens are headed toward that rendezvous point. They're headed toward that strange ruin that's kind of, canal side. You had to kind of slide the Foghound, the boat in there, and kind of go into this strange, very ancient ruin. And the fight that broke out, there was some death. So what I would like to know, and keep in mind that Pretty Marco Coyle, as we said, has a knife in the back and is out of the game. Just as a way of epilogue, how did you guys escape? How did you cover up what had happened? What did you do with the bodies? And then I think we should resolve it with a roll. And then I think we should see, depending on how that roll goes, if more or less heat is generated for your crew. How good are you guys at cleaning up your messes? That's what we're finding out right now. So let me know your approach, how you would approach that, and then we'll make a roll of some sort.
My gut says throw them in the canal, because then we come down these canal. It's just like roll them into the canal.
Yeah, you could. You could roll them into the canal.
Yeah.
I mean, Lord knows Duskfall has seen plenty of bodies floating in the canal. And this is a city filled with scoundrels and crime and vice. So there's probably people that just dredge bodies out of the canal every day.
Yeah.
So that's one approach you could take.
Okay. Yeah. I'd like to take that same approach, but I feel like there needs to be I feel like we have to work together with the buyer to make this happen, because perhaps one of their saber-wielding henchmen went down too, one or two of them or something. Maybe they don't want to dump the body over the canal, but the point is this. The spider, Archie Gray, is going to be all over it, just trying to think of all these possibilities and all the danger. And he's going to just leap on this opportunity to just have a presence with this guy that is like, yeah, we're going to need to work together on this, and we're going to have to act fast. We got to get our boy out of here. You got to get yours out, and let's get rid of these other two bodies and dump them in the canal before the spirit ones get here. Because otherwise, not only are we going to look like a bad deal between the Foghounds and you, it's going to look like we were not involved at all, and they're going to come looking for your gang as well. So we might as well work together to clean this up and do it quickly. So he just basically wants another pair of hands, because he's 103 pounds. He can't carry these huge bodies around, and Marco is down. So
Marco's down.
Yeah. So
great.
He needs another pair of hands. And by the way, Murmur might be a disaster. You know what I mean? He's all mentally fouled up right now. He might not be in the zone.
Murmur suffered some harm, some mental harm. So yeah, I mean, it sounds like you're offering maybe a consort, or actually, I'm going to say it might even be more of a command. Archie, what do you think?
I'm going to say consort, and I'll tell you why. It's because I'm terrible at command, but here's the thing. Consort is my bag, but here's the thing. I think I've earned it, because at the very end last time, I took a desperate action and a devil's gambit in order to use command to step up to these guys and say, we are in charge of this crew now. We're going to be your new contact. And I hit it with a 6. And so I feel like the command role is done. They respect me, I think, enough as a leader of this. And now it's just a, hey, buddy, this is a good idea. We should do this together to help each other out mutually. He's not going to presume to order anyone around in this situation. They obviously have the upper hand. So I think it's a consort role.
I'm going to allow that. That's something, well argued, Joe. Well argued.
I get really fired up about this. I love that aspect of this game. It's like you could always just debate like why it should be one skill versus another.
Approach the bench, please, Mr. O'Brien. The motion the motion is passed, and I think that I would like a consort role, and we're gonna make it all hang on this. And what I mean by that is, if you get help from these guys, if this goes well for you, you guys will all work, efficiently together, and you'll disappear without a trace. Cool. But if it goes poorly, it's going to be a sloppy job, and it's going to bring heat on you. So I'm going to think that you can. Let's going to call it. What do you say? Great effect if it's a good role.
Okay.
And I don't think it's risky because, as you said, you already succeeded in your command. So I'm going to call it. I'm not even going to call it standard. I'm going to call it controlled. So
awesome.
Yeah, you've already controlled them. So now you're just asking them to do something else the right way. Go ahead.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
1 and 2.
Oh no.
That's a bad roll.
Something's up here that we don't understand about this crew and the way they operate. And like, this is a rude awakening to what it's going to really be like if you try to get violent in these jobs.
Didn't we just deliver a dead body to them? Maybe they want the bodies.
Lord Strangford says to you before he leaves out the back exit, he goes, "I didn't pay to clean up your trash for you, gutter snipes." And he's like, and then his men like immediately dash away, and he covers himself with a cloak, and he heads up these like old stairs that presumably lead up into the street levels. And you guys are left not only with the bodies of the Foghound crew that you killed, but also one of his men is just like laying there dead. The bells are ringing off in the city. So we're gonna get into what happens next right away. I'm going to just simply narrate that it is a sloppy mess. Pontiac is not himself.
He's talking as Margaret from time to time.
Yeah, and Margaret is talking as Margaret from time to time because she's there too. Remember, she's just kind of like losing it, and like Margaret's like talking to herself in the body of Pontiac. While Archie, who we've established, has kind of a limp, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, Archie is having. Yeah, Archie, you're having to like do it all yourself. You're having to push these bodies into the water, and you barely escape before the spirit wardens. Like you literally, as you and Pontiac are dragging Marco like down an alley, you see the spirit crow like crying from atop a church roof, or maybe the eave of a bridge, and then you see the spirit wardens moving through the city.
So cool.
And one of them stops, and what I would like to evoke is like Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, when the ring wraiths like stop because the hobbits are like down in the little like gully nearby, and they're just kind of like you guys are like hiding, in the spirit wardens like.
Yeah, right over our head. Yeah,
and then they head down into that headquarters or that rendezvous point. That place is hot right now, and I think that it's going to perhaps not be available to you as a place of operation. You do have the boat. And oh Jesus, how did you get you also got the boat out of there? Maybe Pontiac got Marco out. And our friend Archie got the boat out of there. But regardless, I'm giving you.
No, I think we can load up on the boat and leave. I don't think that's that wild, especially considering that it like cleaning up bodies, leaving a crime scene in good shape. Not our forte. We are very new to this. But when it comes to smuggling, like getting something through dangerous territory, that's what we do as a crew. I think that we can get on a boat, slip it into the right dock in a low key fashion, not be seen. But I think we still did, like you said, left a sloppy scene behind, and maybe we can't go back there for a little while.
I think maybe not, and I think that it's going to affect your heat, which we'll get to in a minute. First, we're going to start on your XP. Now we can start racking up XP as you slide that boat into the right dock. How many desperate actions did each of you take? Do you know?
I didn't take, as far as from what I have here, I don't think I took any desperate actions.
But I think that was smart, Troy, because your character's already pretty stressed. So you were playing a little conservatively, you said, right?
Yeah, from the get-go. I did take a little stress. I took 2 stress, but that was, if I took 1 more, I was going to be out. So I was really keeping my cards close to the vest. I was risking it when in flirting with Margette.
By the way, does Margette go with you? Do you take her with you, or do you leave her babbling in that underground gully?
We slit her throat before we walked away. I'm so sorry, love. I think it's really the only option.
I don't think so necessarily. I mean, we could leave her as like a homeless person on the street.
Yeah, she is lost now. They might be like, oh, all right. Come on, we'll take you back to your home.
I can't weigh in. I'm unconscious and barely clinging to life.
All right, there's a route. So you're telling me there's look, I'm impartial, but I'm telling you that if you leave her out there, she's not really making a lot of sense right now. She is babbling. She would be kind of on the street, so perhaps she's safe. But if you slit her throat, then definitely you've taken care of that loose end.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm gonna slit her throat. I'm gonna just take it the whole way through and be like,
go with your gut.
All right.
I enjoyed our time together, but the fog whistles will toot no more.
Well, you start to, but you have to make a roll for me, and I want that roll to be resolve. And the reason is you currently have harm where you sometimes think you are her. It might make it hard to murder her. So why don't you go? I think that like she's talking to you and she's like, no, don't do this. I love you. I can fix it.
All right, I've got 3 resolve, so I've got a good chance here. So that's just 3 die?
Yeah.
Okay.
A really good chance, actually.
Oh, 3 6s.
Oh my Lord.
Ice cold.
So
Ice cold.
Wow. Heartless.
Wow.
So what I'm going to say is not only do you kill her and remove the loose end, you also you resolve the problem you're having with your mind.
Huge.
And so I'm going to
break the
remove
psychic connection.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to remove that harm.
Oh, that's who else can I kill? I got another harm. We're just giving away free heals.
No, but seriously, dude, you rolled 3 6s. That's an uber critical.
That's so cool. I just love that idea that like the identity disorder was connected to her having a brain that was still active.
You guys, the empathic connection is now broken, and you are yourself again, Pontiac.
Yes.
So that's
awesome.
What
that's
happened?
good.
He says, "What happened? Where's Margette?"
We
We had dinner plans.
So now we're back to these desperate actions. So how about you, Marco? Did you take any desperate actions? Do you know?
I actually wasn't actively tallying them up, but considering the amount of stress I took, I think I took a bunch, right?
Yeah, I had down like 2 for you, which might be low, but I'm fairly certain. I did review the last sesh.
I think I went into it pretty high stress, so 2 makes sense to me too.
Yeah, and then I know Joe. How many did Archibald take? A few, right?
Yeah, and I marked them. So I think this is accurate. I mean, this was on my sheet from a month ago, and I think it's accurate. But you tell me, because I don't know. I don't know how much experience you have with this game over like a long period of time either. But because according to my thing here, I am 1 XP from getting a level up in Resolve, and so does that sort of make sense? Like after 2 scores, could I have done that many desperate actions?
I mean, I think it makes sense. Can you throw up a sheet, Secret Game Master Clinton Trucks? Just any character sheet, and we're going to look at the crew sheet in a minute too.
Oh, actually, also the other experience that you get goes into those things too, and you can choose where they go, right? So I think
that's right.
I think
that might be what you've done.
I was maxing in resolve. That's what I was doing. So
Here's
I
our buddy
definitely
Archie.
remember marking the command, the desperate command at the end of last session.
Yes.
But I don't know. I don't remember taking a second one. Might only been one, but I don't know.
No, I let's, you know what? Let you say that you took the desperate command and that's the only one you marked. I think that might be the only one I had for you. That's the only one I have for you.
Okay.
So so that you get one more, but that might be enough. So let's take.
Oh, wait a minute. Was it? No, it's okay. If I had it, I would have marked it because I was going to say I think maybe there was a desperate action involved in the sorting out of the
how to drive the
charts.
Yeah,
because I had to like decipher her handwriting or something. Remember, there was like a code that she had that was very unique, and
you had to do something. Remember, I said you learned how to drive a ship in seconds. Well, look, right. I'm not trying to be easy, but I will say that was definitely desperate, whether we called it that at the time or not. So you can also have 2 XP. Okay, so 2 XP to both Marco and to Archibald Gray. Let's look at the crew XP. And we'll bring up the crew sheet for that. I'm just going to go ahead and rattle off what we're, how much XP we're getting here. So did you execute a smuggling operation? Well, you were really just taking turf. You were taking a boat from the Foghounds, but you did end up in the course of that, executing a smuggling operation. So you get +1 XP for that. Let's see here. Did you contend with challenges above your stations? Yes, the Foghounds are a higher tier than your gang. So yes, you did. So
and those other guys too, probably.
Oh, absolutely. Did you bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one? I'm going to say yes, because you've literally changed your business in a fundamental way. You now can smuggle by land and by sea. That's definitely a change of rep. And did you express the goals, drives, or inner nature of your crew? Explain to me whether you did that.
Yeah, we're desperate scoundrels.
Yeah, we're ambitious.
Yes, that's right.
You know what I mean? Like, our whole thing is like, that was a crazy job. Weren't they a tier higher than us?
Yeah.
They are, the Foghounds are, I believe, a tier higher than you guys. Let me make sure.
At the bleeding edge of our abilities and barely making it out in one piece.
You know what? You can do jobs against people who are like 5 tiers higher than you in theory. It probably wouldn't go really well, but it's possible.
I remember when we got on that boat and you were like, oh, there's a crew of 6 as well. I was like, oh, I thought it was just her and like 2 thugs.
Oh, no, they're tier 1. They're the exact same tier as you.
I thought we were tier 0. Did we get to tier 1 after the last one?
No, you're right. For some reason, the sheet says tier 1, but that's incorrect. They are tier 1. They're 1 above you guys. You're right. Well, regardless, I'm going to say that you did contend with those challenges. So that were above you. But you say you expressed your goals, drives, and inner nature. How did you say that you did that?
Well, look, I think that we could have easily been picking pockets down in the whatnot at tier 0, and we're trying to take a ship and really eliminate an entire crew. I think it's pretty ambitious. Also, I don't really know that we know who we are yet. Like, we're still sort of developing, but between our is it traumas? Like, I know that I'm reckless. Troy, what is your guy again?
Well, I've got a couple traumas.
I know. But
let me get back to you. I just hit the wrong button.
I just feel like the combination of those things lead us to
haunted and unstable.
Yes.
Yeah, just like unstable and reckless ideas that have like worked out in our favor. God, the murder of the navigator. The murder of the navigator. That is wild.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna give you all of that at crew XP. Then can we add that XP to their sheet, Secret GM?
Oh, we did good.
Yeah.
Ooh, that might be enough.
That's 4. That is enough.
Are we a new tier?
Shugunk.
Y'all better watch out for the tin whistles.
Level up.
Watch your back.
Oh my God, what does this even mean?
Man, we're going out for steak tonight.
Just
you get some.
Chop it up into a fine paste and feed it to me. Light up.
You guys get something new. I think that's incredible. I'm gonna have our secret GM Clinton Trucks make sure we know exactly what you get right now. But I'm assuming you get a new upgrade, like a special ability or something.
Oh yeah.
And maybe what we can do is kind of get into the session, and then you can decide what that'll be, because you might pick something that helps your next plan for your next job.
Right.
So let's do this. Let's do Payoff. I'm going to say, just for that Lord Strangford job, the entire payoff is 6 coin. Okay. That's a standard job payoff.
Okay.
But as is according to the rules, the places where you have your HQ, Coleridge, does have a boss that all the gangs pay 2 coin tithe to. You're not at the top of the pecking order yet. So you can choose to pay them and you'll net 4 coin, or you can not pay them and deal with any complications that come out of that.
We are ambitious.
I think we should pay them. I think we should pay them.
Seems wise.
Because I think from
my
my standpoint, from Archibald's standpoint, like, he's trying to stay alive. He doesn't want these guys on his heels, and he wants to stay alive long enough to like make some good moves in the like legitimate society. You know what I mean? So he's still trying to look. I don't mind about heat and stuff like that. Like, we can work on that, but just in terms of paying,
it's a small price to pay.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
Have to deal with what they're going to bring.
To not be hunted right now.
Right.
Like, let's focus on other things.
We'll deal with that problem later.
And speaking of heat, let's talk about the heat, because your getaway there unfortunately netted you a little bit more heat. I'm going to go down the list, though, in order. So it asks you if there was exposure. I don't think you guys had a lot of exposure. You were out of the city. You were at sea for most of the operation, and you targeted another gang, not a public building or something like that. So I'm going to give you 0 for that. I'm not giving you any heat for your distinctive vehicle, the Rail Runner, because you didn't use it, and you were stealing. The whole job was stealing the distinctive vehicle, the Foghound. But we know that that it's a smuggling ship. It's not that noticeable. I am going to give you +1 heat for expanding into new smuggler routes. You're branching out, and now your tiny 3-man crew is going to be spread a little thin. So I had you at 3 heat from that, like adding up the heat you had before in this. But then that you left a crime scene, basically. The Spirit Wardens were right on your heels. And they know someone was operating down there. They know that you guys murdered a lot of people. I'm giving you +2 heat for that.
Okay.
And I'm supposed to give you +2 heat if anybody dies, period. So I guess I'm being, I'm being easy. I could actually go even higher, but I'm going to leave it at that. So you guys are at 5 heat.
Yeah, I was going to say it's 5 heat. Yeah, not 4.
Yeah, it's 5 heat altogether. Okay. And if you get to 9, you gain a wanted level. So you're not there yet, but I could see one more job putting you there. So
sure.
Careful what kind of opportunities you choose.
I love this game so much. Because it's kind of like you can be like, that job, it could be great for us, but like, someone's going to die,
or somebody's going to take the fall and go to prison.
Yeah. So like, let's not do that now. Let's try to do a job clean with no death. You know what I mean? Like that kind of job next. And then we can, it's really freaking cool.
I know. Yeah. I mean, and I didn't even know that would start coming into play until now, which is kind of cool. So now we're going to do your entanglements. Your one level.
Sorry, 1 second. Yes. I don't mean to cut you off. But,
no, you're fine.
What about, did I miss something? Don't we need to earn XP as individuals beyond our desperate actions?
Oh, absolutely.
It's like each thing, like the way you address challenges and your struggled with your advice.
Yeah. Did you contend with challenges above your state? Oh, that's crew. Did you mark your playbook specific trigger? Did you guys each do that?
So basically what I'm looking at, it says at the end of each session for each item below, mark 1 XP, blah, blah, blah. I'm a spider. So it says, you get an XP if you addressed a challenge with calculation or conspiracy. Then you get 1 if you expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background, or if you struggled with issues from your vice, you get experience, all this stuff. So I remember we did that in the last downtime. I don't think we've done it yet. I didn't know if you were going to do it after these crew entanglements, but I feel like we're kind of like getting into the role play part of downtime. And I didn't want to go too far before we
No, I
Well,
appreciate
what
it.
comes from this.
No, you're right. So here's the deal. In terms of your playbook specific trigger addressing a challenge with conspiracy, that's exactly what Archibald and the others did. You guys created a conspiracy within another gang. So take a point of XP for that.
And mine is address a challenge with deception or influence. That's all I did was lie the entire
And
time.
mine violence and coercion. So yeah.
All I did was lie the entire. Wait, when you told her you loved her, it was a lie.
Was it?
It was all untrue.
I think there was a little bit of actual love there that Pontiac doesn't want to admit.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking too. That like my vice is pleasure. At a certain point, he lost the whether this was supposed to be real or not. Maybe got caught up in it. And so,
That's why I'm
he
giving
still took it out.
Pontiac. That's why I'm going to give Pontiac an XP for did you struggle with issues from your vice or trauma? Because he definitely did. He definitely had weird trauma things happening with that weird relationship and how it all shook out in the end. So he needs to take an XP for that. What about the other two? Were there issues during the score specifically? And I think, Joe, you may have been asking, hey, we dealt with our vices in the last downtime. Do we get XP for that? My interpretation, and please correct me if you see it a different way, or you can show me how you see it a different way, is that we're really talking about the scores when we're talking about issues. Did you struggle with issues from your vice or trauma?
No. All I was saying was we did these things last downtime before we got into entanglements and stuff. I was just talking about procedure of like the order we did stuff. That's all.
No, you're right. I literally just kind of got ahead of myself. So did either Marco or Archibald have vice or trauma issues in the last adventure?
I'll make a pitch for one. I will say that I believe I did not express my beliefs, drives, heritage, or background in this one. I don't think my Scoveland stuff came up. I don't think my horse stuff came up. My horse stuff. I got weird horse stuff.
Did you mark an XP for horse stuff?
I don't think that my drive to become a higher society player in upscale or horse racing factored in at all. But I will say that I think that my reckless trauma did lead me to trying to convince Goldie, who was an absolute stonewall. Like we knew, like she was a tough customer. And I went in there in a reckless way to try to get her to not trust the person that she trusted most in the world and had worked with for years, and just trust me, a total rando, to like be her friend and turn on her own captain. And then I failed at it because I just was a mess and she just walked away. So I feel like maybe there's an XP in there because I struggled with my recklessness.
Well, I will say that was the one roll in last session in the score where I was like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know why he would try this. This is kind of a crazy Hail Mary. So I'm going to go ahead and give you that XP.
Oh, thank you. All right. And you know what it resulted in? You look at the whole like line of events. That conversation is really what results in her pulling a gun on Marco.
Right. Absolutely.
And being up on the jig, being ahead of our plan and just like turning the gun on him shockingly and being like, and pulling the trigger before we could even react.
That's awesome. So it definitely caused some complications. Marco, what about you? Do you think any of your background or your trauma came into this?
I think so. Well, I think any and all concerns for maintaining the pristine nature of Marco's face gets to his beliefs and drives. His pleasure at being stabbed in the back rather than the front. But also, I think his trauma is vicious and vice is stupor. I don't know that he was necessarily totally whacked out, but going to basically being sent on a mission to kill this person off on a secluded island is pretty vicious. But I'd say that there's maybe something to the violent barroom nature of trying to dominate someone with the barroom activity, like arm wrestling, that gets into the sort of like the crazed, swaggering braggadocio of this guy. So I would argue that move encompasses some of those things.
Okay. Let me think here. I think I'm gonna say your playbook specific trigger is definitely checked, and I hope you already have that. Issues for vice or trauma is really what it says here, and your vice is vicious. I think actually stopping him with like a game of like arm wrestling is actually quite friendly and not that vicious. Actually,
try to be congenial still. Then,
yeah, exactly.
In terms
of
I was sent to kill. I didn't have the idea to kill her.
That's true. Yeah,
I think I wasn't super vicious that last time.
Look, Ross, we know each other. We love each other. XP denied.
Oh, Clint, wow. Can we get a stamp that comes over the screen? It's just like denied. XP.
Oh God, I'm already mad with power in this.
Go to black and white.
Oh,
there it is.
Denied.
No, well done, Clint. So that XP for the playbook specific one put me over the edge.
Yeah, I got a little upgrade myself.
I think I did too. Because did I take one for the challenge and one for the beliefs and drives?
We're really doing it.
Holy shit! Everybody gets a level up. That's incredible.
For me, it all went in because this goes back to our first session. It all went into my resolve, so I can put one of my resolve abilities up one.
So did mine.
I just front loaded that because you can do with your character things. You can put it into anything you want. So I just like went whole hog and resolve, and so I'm going to bump my consort up to 2 dice as well. So now consort and sway are both 2 dice.
And I'm going to go on the role-playing end of things, and I'm going to put my first point in command because I think he did something there that triggered his ability to maybe be a future leader of some kind in a gang. As a spider, I think it fits. So I'm going to do my first point in command.
Nice.
Yeah, and just I feel like I'm maybe the least up on what this buys me, but like now that I've come up, am I adding just 1 pip to the my choice here?
Yeah, 1 pip to the whatever it's called that it was in. Insight, prowess, or resolve. So which one did you level up? It
was probably the one that you took the most desperate actions in, and then if you took the rest of your XP and put it there as well.
Yeah, that's probably
prowess.
Yeah. So then I think I'm going to just go ahead and drop another one into skirmish.
Did you only have 1 in skirmish?
I had 2.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So
you're going to be
in
real.
skirmish. But
that's what we need. We need that Marco muscle.
We need some. Yeah, we need some muscle. I feel like I feel like all the fights I've been in so far, I've come out none the worse for wear. I'd love to really be a fucking bruiser.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, Marco. Yes.
And we should also note, we should also show the crew sheet and show that you guys get one more thing. You claimed some turf, so we should go ahead and claim that turf.
Oh,
you have
yeah.
spot on your sheet that says fleet.
That's right. Oh, that was the whole reason for this mission.
Yeah, exactly. And so you see that that's a little bit of a dead end on this little map, but it earns you like, more coin. Now you have a cool ass ship.
What is a cohort? Wait a minute. You can like get one in downtime, right? You can like get cohorts and then they can do jobs with the
like a long-term project.
Build your gang.
Man, build a gang.
We want to do that at some point.
Yes, please.
I think you really do, because I think that taking care of your ship and your headquarters and your other vehicle, like at a certain point, you're going to be spread a little thin, and you should look into kind of getting a cohort, getting a gang that kind of watches your back for you.
Maybe we should then invite a guest player in to play the gang, to make the decisions for the gang. And just sort of like, this is why you're here. It was a game mechanic where we created this idea.
I think that's a great idea. Clint, please cast that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do your entanglements. So this is our final step before we get into your downtime activities. We're going to find out what the fallout of this score. What were some other little sort of side effects, fringe effects of this score? So I need, it's just a roll. Wanted level is 0. So roll 2 dice and keep the lowest result and tell it to me.
All 3 of them?
Just one of you. Yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry.
would like to be,
Why are we rolling 2 and taking the lowest?
because you have a wanted level of 0. So with entanglements, if you have a, let's see, after payoff and heat are determined, the GM generates an entanglement for the crew using the list below. Find the column that matches the crew's current heat level, then roll a number of dice equal to their wanted level, which is 0. And use the result of the roll to select which. So,
what does that mean?
If the wanted level is 0, roll 2 dice and keep the lowest result.
So the more wanted you are, the less entanglements you get because people are afraid to mess with you. Is that what it is?
Au contraire, the more wanted you are, the crazier your entanglements get. I believe.
Oh, okay.
But some of them are good. Like, not all of them are detrimental. Some are like people asking you for favors and such things.
Well, it's a really good word for it. Entanglements. It's pretty.
Right.
It's not always awful. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Are
Troy?
you going to be the man?
Nope.
Yeah, Troy, go for it, buddy.
All right. 2d6 roll. Let's give you the lowest. 3.
3. Okay.
3 and a 5.
Great. All right. One of your friends has been picked up by the authorities. And you guys need to tell me which of your contacts this was. You have to offer someone up. And then I'm going to make a fortune roll to see if they talk.
Oh, shit.
That's how bad this Spirit Wardens thing is. They are starting to find people on your periphery.
Ooh.
And your crew is just getting started, and already you've got the authorities are sniffing around a little bit.
I don't care for this.
No.
I mean, I could throw in Salia, my information broker, who I've used a few times now on both. I've used once on both jobs, I think. Definitely on the first job.
Would you like it to be Salia?
No.
Well, you have to choose someone.
My hands are tied. Yeah, exactly.
I got a drug dealer that I'm.
Did you say anything?
No.
Did you tell him?
No, he doesn't know anything. But we're on good terms, whereas I'm not as on good terms with somebody else, a sex worker. But he could just be a casualty. I could use him.
Yeah.
Brill, right? The drug dealer?
Yeah, because I'm not really using anymore. Really, just into pleasure. I feel like it's really shitty for me to do, but I could throw him under the bus.
So I think Brill is someone who purchased some of the electroplasm you brought back from your first score. Probably with the intent of producing spark.
Jared,
so when you guys hear Brill
is phenomenal. Can I just point that out? You are very, very good at this.
Yeah. Can I also say I'm just gonna add on to that. First of all, you're fantastic. Secondly, I don't even realize how good you are, and I'll follow that up. The repercussions that this has, because I am specifically lining up on the side. I mean, and bringing in the tin whistles, of course, but I'm lining up a score to get spark for Lucius Tabs at the track. And this is something that's going to be huge for me. And this was my drug connection, my main drug connection.
This is your drug connection. Let's see if he talked to the authorities.
No. There's Lucius.
Okay,
the bookkeeper at Jar Hollow Downs. I love it.
So I have some good news for you, gentlemen. I rolled a 6 for you.
Ooh,
Brill didn't make a peep.
He's a good dude.
He's a good dude. That's why you felt bad.
But he disappears from his usual haunts. The end of the line, where the tavern owner Esme keeps bar, is a place where Brill can be found a lot. It's also your sort of watering hole. And Brill is, even after they say he was released by the Bluecoats, you don't see hide nor hair of him for a while. Some people say they probably roughed him up, and Brill can't stand for people to see him looking weak. So he didn't want to be, out in public with like a black eye and a split jaw. So now I just want to say we are back to the abandoned rail car in Coleridge.
Finally.
Yes. Yeah. Marco, you are able to speak. You're able to converse, move about the city, but you are still very badly hurt. you guys can now choose 2 downtime activities, and I can go through them for you. Or if you're like, I already know, feel free to jump up and tell me.
I'll jump in for one.
Yeah, go for it.
I want to indulge in my vice because I want to get rid of some stress.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
It's free.
Great. So that's for you. It's gambling, right?
Yes, for me, it's gambling. Now, remind me of our coin situation. We got 10.
You're doing well. Yeah, I think you have 10 altogether.
10 altogether. Okay.
And you guys said you were using kind of a community chest way of doing this, right?
Right. And I have an idea I want to pursue. We'll see how. Yeah.
Put it all on black?
No. Here's my idea. Okay. I think, and this is a thing that might be stupid, but basically, for role play reasons, I want to spend a coin. Now, it could have mechanical impact in that it could help my roll a great deal. But if I roll well, I would have wasted the coin. But I think it's only fair that I use the coin before I know the roll, even though in the rules, you can use the coin after you know the roll. But it's because of what I want to do.
What do you want to do?
I want to pay off the jockey who I know of one of those dicks.
Yeah.
That was a total a-hole to me, who owns one of these horses. Now, the jockeys have no love for this owner. They treat him like crap. These guys, exactly.
Yeah,
the guy in the middle, that's the guy.
The other owners, they're all nobles. Yeah.
Right. So that guy owns a horse, right? The jockey that races that horse is mistreated by this guy all the time. And my guy goes to him after getting this score and says, listen, Jerry, I'll give you 1 coin, or its equivalent mechanically to Dust Bowl, to pull back a little bit on this one. And then I'm going to put down a bet for that horse to not win, basically. And so I want to spend the coin. So if I roll a 1 to 3, I want to change it to 4 to 5. If it's 4 to 5, I want to change it to a 6, which you can do. And I really just want to diminish this owner's reputation slightly.
I think that's great. I love it. I think you should spend the coin first. That's, there's some money up front. We
have the money now too. He just goes in there so confident, just flips it up to the dude, just take it. There's more where that came from now that we have this boat. Okay. I'm going to try to relieve stress.
Okay. So we know how this works, right? We're going to roll your lowest attribute. Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Insight, prowess, or resolve. What is that for you?
Insight, it's prowess.
Okay.
He's very small, not very strong guy. So
do you have any pips in prowess?
I have 1.
So what if you had none? Do you roll 2 and take the lower?
Take the lowest.
Yeah, that's why I didn't relieve any stress last time, and that's why it's probably stupid for me to do it this time. Anyways, that sucks.
You got it. Well, that's the thing, is you need to start taking desperate actions and using your playbook thing and forcing your beliefs and background and putting it all in the one you have.
Yeah, it's so smart. You have to take desperate actions and things you're bad at in order to get better at them.
Right.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Imagine that.
It's just a phenomenal game mechanic.
That is non-optimal.
All right. So, Jared, I just want to say this is mostly for flavor, and I'm literally paying the coin for flavor. So I'm going to use this to heal stress, right? If I roll a 5, I'm not going to change it up to a 6 because that would be an overindulgence for me, but I'm still happy to lose the coin.
Well, here, 2 things are going to happen, actually.
Okay.
If you pay this coin and you don't overindulge, you just clear. If you're able to, how many stress do
5.
you have?
I'm at 5 stress. 5. So if I happen to roll a 6, I overindulge, which is fine. But if I roll a 5, I don't want that coin to make it a 6. You know what I'm saying? Of
course. You're going to make it a little lower, right? If you roll a 6, you're going to use the coin to make it lower, right? Is that kind of the idea?
It just says increase the result level by 1 for any downtime activity for each coin spent.
But you're paying for a guy to lose. So I'm going to allow that coin. That coin's going to do a couple things for you, Joe. That coin is going to allow you to increase it if you want to, because it should still work that way.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to allow you to decrease it if you roll a 6.
Okay, cool.
But if you are able to clear all your stress with this, I'm going to say that it also moves your clock of your project, own your own racehorse, up a peg.
You're good. You're good. Like what Valley said.
But if it's a really bad roll, I might say, I'm not going to take that clock back, but there will be complications at the track.
Okay. Here we go. Let's go. It's a 1d6 to try to relieve 5 stress. I rolled a 6.
Damn.
Okay, but you paid
the coin to back it down 1.
So,
clears all of his stress and screws over this jerk noble.
So the jockey, known as Sticks Galen, because he looks like a little bundle of sticks. He's like, you like. Here's what's happening. Archibald, you're like clutching your fucking papers, like
the paper.
You're clutching it because he is in the lead the entire time. Like, and you're like, this motherfucker took my coin and he's not fucking like throwing it. And then at the very he's talented, this guy, because at the very end, you just see because you're a student of the ponies. You see him shift his weight just slightly. And another horse wins it by a nose.
Oh, he's good. I knew he was good. I know Sticks. I go way back with Sticks.
You know Sticks. Galen. Sticks Galen is maybe someone to keep in mind. Moving your
possible cohort.
Yeah, I'm moving your clock for own a racehorse to 2 out of 6.
Awesome.
You clear that stress. So that was an interesting use of the coin to kind of if you hadn't said I want him to lose it, I might not have let you take numbers back. But I think that works out perfectly.
Yeah, that was really. Thank you.
Of course. Now, of course, while you're at the track, Lucius Dabbs is like still looking for a friend who can provide a little spark in all of our lives around here.
Lucius,
Greg?
I know. It's top of mind for me. I never forget it every day. But I've got to make sure it's done right. Got to make sure it's the right people and not something that's a little bit cut, a little poor news, poor reporting. We don't want that. You want the right proper type of newspaper, the one that's really going to get the experience you're looking for.
Well, I think that you need to give me some sort of role here. I want to roll because I want you to suss out how Lucius feels about this. You see that there might be concern on his face, or
he might owe somebody. Yeah,
possibly. You're not sure. So if you give me a roll to suss it out, I might let you know more.
This is kind of a tough area. I could say consort, just in the sense of knowing a friend or being friendly enough to pick up on some of his, my instincts clicking in that something's off. Or I could say maybe survey. But the thing is, survey is usually a place, right? But
that's okay. I mean, you could, yeah, you could watch him for a while.
Who's he talking to?
Exactly. Yeah.
Who's he meeting? Oh, this guy walks up. I don't know who this person is, but they have a terse exchange of words. Something happens there that I'm like, oh man, there might be a little heat on Lucius I didn't know about.
Would you like to try survey? And I'll tell
Let's do survey, yeah.
I'll tell you what you find out.
Okay. Let's try a survey. Come on, buddy. 4, 3 and a 4.
Okay.
So success with consequences.
A success with consequences. So you watch, you stay at the track, of course, all day. You're indulging your vice. And you watch Lucius. And at one point, an Eruvian walks up to him. And they're so subtle about it, but you succeeded in your survey roll. So you see that they keep looking over at you while they're talking very animatedly. You're not sure if you know who this guy is. He's Eruvian, which means, he's dark complected. He looks like someone from, say, Persia or India in our world. And this guy, he's kind of hunched. He's got like a lot of like cloak going on, and a lot of gold chains and like metal accoutrement like hanging off of his outfit, and a big gold ring in his nose. And he's kind of like talking very animatedly to Lucius, and it doesn't look like Lucius is like in trouble with the guy, but they keep kind of like looking over at you. And that's all I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to say you can even leave the track, move on, or you can reapproach Lucius if you want.
I will.
It's up to you.
I do want to. Yeah.
All right.
So he'll let some time pass,
Mm-hmm.
and then come up again, making sure that nobody's around, and just, what was that all about, mate? The Aruvian there with the heavy cloaks, the big chains, seemed like it was a bit desperate. What's going on? Anything I can help with?
Look, if you can't provide the spark, if you can't give me something interesting to read, rather, and you see him kind of like look left or right a little bit, I'm afraid there's very little else that I can tell you.
No, please. You're moving on too fast here, mate. I got you. I'm going to take care of you. I promise. Give me a week. Give me a week. I'll get you what you need. 1 week.
I can give you a week.
That's all I ask. You're a wise man. But I'm telling you, the paper I bring you, when you read it, it's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind.
He's already kind of like, this guy's so careful. He doesn't want to like put too much attention that he's talking to you. So he's like, Bleeding Queen looks good to somebody over there.
Wait. Does Bleeding Queen actually look good?
He looks back at you and like very quietly he goes, no, man.
Awesome. Okay, I'd say, and then I will leave, and Archibald is just thinking like, oh no, like he's really put himself in it, but he can't lose Lucius as a connection here, not only to like the information behind for the gambling, but also, in his ultimate long-term goals here to make the connections he needs to own a horse, get the right trainer, get the right whatever. So he's got to do what he's got to do.
He needs every inside connect in that track that he can keep.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Let's move to Marco Coyle. Marco, what would you like to do in your downtime?
Well, I'm in a bad way, aren't I? So I think Marco just needs to get this damn stress off his chest, and also the wound out of his back. So I think he's just going to indulge in that vice, baby.
You're going to go indulge in vice again.
In order to relieve stress, yes?
Yes, of course. He also has harm, right? And to relieve harm, he'll need to recover. And if he would rather just relieve his stress first, that's great. And we can go ahead and take him to, he's kind of like he's still bandaged up. He's still his back. Sometimes he has to take the bandages off at night, and there's a big, sticky, bloody mess back there he's having to contend with. He could go ahead and relieve his vice first to like deal with that, and then we could get to his recovery in a little bit. What do you think?
Sounds good. So I roll. So I don't have anything in insight, so I guess I just roll one dice and take the.
That sounds right. Wow, it looks like our crew needs to start popping pips into those sort of like weak points, right?
You got to get one in each. It's really huge.
Yeah.
At least
are you going to your dockside purveyor again? Who are you using? Who's the purveyor of your vice?
Can I switch it up? Let's say
absolutely.
We're a little flush with coin. So can I say that I moved to a somewhat more dapper establishment?
Absolutely. So you find this place that is not only a place where you can indulge in stupor, indulge in drugs, but it's also a place where you can acquire pleasure. It's near where you had the ship dock during that job in what's the name of it? In Barrow Cleft. and it's like a house of ill repute where you can not only do drugs, you can also find sex workers to your taste and spend a night of pleasure. Of course, Marco's just interested in that beautiful forgetfulness brought by which drug would he like to do this time? Last time he tried the Black Lotus.
Yes. Yeah, I think he wants to just like go out. I would lose time. I want to wake up and not know what day or night it is.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say that he meets the madam of the house, a woman named Nyrix. And she's like, girls or juice? Yeah, there she is.
Well, gotta tell you, laid a pretty fine menu before me, but I'm afraid it's the juice that I got the hankering and the thirst for tonight, old girl.
All right.
What you have in your bill of fare?
She walks you over to a cabinet, and she opens it up. Actually, she has a one of her girls, who I guess is her apothecary, opens it up, and the girl that opens it up is this like very like surprising looking Taika Rossi girl with like the weirdest coloring. She looks like a I don't know, something out of like the Bhagavad Gita or something like that. Very beautiful, but very, very strange looking. And they, of course, have Black Lotus. They, of course, have Spark, but they also have Blood Needle, Quicksilver, and Trance Powder.
That trance powder sounds like what old Marco's after.
That's what you want this time.
Man.
It's good stuff.
So the Taika Rossi, she gets into this like big urn and kind of like, it has this apparatus where she twists the top in a way and like turns this little key, and then out of this like this sieve in the bottom onto this little china plate she's prepared for you, like this blue glittering powder kind of like all falls down onto the dish. And then she takes her really long nail and she slides it into lines for you, and she pushes it across the table to you like a bartender giving you a Stella Artois. And Nyrix sits there like looking bored, and then she puts her hand forward for what you owe her, which doesn't actually come out of your coin unless you fail or unless you want to move this die roll in a moment. Ross, does that make sense?
Okay.
So you can move it up, not down like we did previously. Only up if you need it to. Go up. And how much stress are you trying to clear?
I'm trying to clear as much as possible. I'm full. I've got 9 stress.
Oh, holy shit. So you want this to be as high a number as you can, and you have 1 die, right?
Yep.
Okay. Let's go ahead and roll.
Got myself a 3.
Okay.
Better than a 1, dude. Better than a 1.
Trance powder. Has Marco ever tried it?
I would think that probably Marco's tried everything. But,
Great. So Marco knows exactly what's going to happen, which is that the second it goes up his nose and hits his brain, that moment is going to last hours.
Great.
It's like time dilates and slows to nothing. So generally when someone takes trance powder, they try to put themselves in a moment they would like to go on for hours and hours right before the drug hits their brain. So what is Marco going to do? I mean, he can literally take it out the door if he'd like. Or he could stay in here and, take it.
Okay. I think it's just like pick up the if I've got the money for it, I don't know, like pick up the little things, and turn to the woman who slid it across the bar to me, and just like, so what time you get off then?
I don't get off. I am always on the clock.
What can I do to perhaps indulge in a moment of your time? if I could buy a minute or two off that clock of yours.
She turns to Nyrix, who's like nods, and she's like, "Follow me." In this dreamy way, she kind of, walks you up the stairs, takes you into, I mean, this building, how would I say, you're kind of in, before you were literally where people were sitting on the floor, like, like, going nuts for the drugs they were on. Now you're in like an old West, vice parlor. So she takes you up to this room covered in mahogany and, various thick fabrics, and she lays you and sits you down on the bed. And now I'm going to narrate a full sex act. No, I'm not.
No sex act. No sex act. I just imagine her laid out in the most like Aubrey Beardsley sort of way, and it's just like the very very nothing crazy. Just like the dust is like on her like on the back of her hand. It's eyes rolled off. I'm just like, see you on the other side, old girl. You just like huff it off of her.
So here's
looking into her eyes. Is that
yeah, I think that I described her as extremely beautiful and sort of intriguing to just someone passing by. Mm-hmm. Now you just spend a moment, but that moment lasts for you like, let's see. That moment lasts 2 hours for you, like in your sense of time, just looking at every like weird little, because she has like weird little whorls and like kind of like almost like runes that are like on her face and like strange like glittering horn type things that are coming off of her head, and you were just kind of like tripping out looking at her. And then you wake up as you hit a mud puddle in the front of the house. And you see that Nyrix is standing over you. And she says, "The tin whistles don't juice here." And she walks back into the parlor. And you were like covered in mud. And unfortunately, the trance powder hasn't completely worn off. So you like, the wetness and like yeah.
Keep getting like stuck in mud time.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Our reputation didn't pursue.
She knows us, though. She knows us.
People are talking.
Talking about people. I forgot to ask you if you wanted to pay that coin to raise that to 4 stress relieved, Ross.
Mo's deaf.
Okay. So we're going to lose a little coin there, and I'm going to say that you've relieved 4 of your 9 stress. You might want to think about recovering, but I'll remind you when we come back to you that you have a long-term project that you've been working on. You've been casing a gang, a secret society, in fact, called the Oxbacks. The
Oxbacks, you pricks.
Yeah. Tell us who they are very quickly, and then you can think about whether you want to recover or handle them when we come back to you.
My folk from the Dagger Isles who came over as we are beginning our new life, having immigrated to Duskwall, got jobs down at the piers and docks, like we do as we came over on boats. Little did we know that we had broken a strike that the Oxbacks had on, and so they burned up a bunch of our boats and hurt a bunch of our people, including some family members. And so I think it's time for a bit of the revenge of dish best served iced.
I love that this beautiful vendetta. I mean, you're literally thinking of like your friend you grew up with on a Dagger Isles village who's dead because of these motherfuckers. Yep. So you have already found their headquarters. Maybe you case them some more. You find out more about them. But we'll find out, or maybe you choose to recover because your guy is quite harmed. I'm going to move on to Pontiac Zoe. Pontiac, what would you like your first downtime activity to be?
He's got to release some stress. First things first. I think he's going to go back to that madam that he had spoken to during the last downtime, the one who was like having some problems with someone.
Clem.
Yes.
Yes.
Clem. And Pontiac's, he's kind of in a weird headspace, and so he is trying to request from her a a girl that resembles Margaret.
Oh, interesting.
Marquette. Yeah, he's like, no, not her, no, not her, and trying to find someone with the shaved head, and he does it. I'm sure he does it into finding someone that even remotely looks like it, but finally he settles on someone. It's like fine.
Oh, well, I'm so sorry. I must inform you of some new information. Clem, when you go to her house of ill repute, is not there. Instead, a string of Taikarosi sex workers are kind of hanging out the front, like, shaking their kerchiefs out the windows. And you realize that this place is under new management.
Oh, wow. Because you
Really?
did nothing. You
I
could have
did
done something. You did nothing.
I wanted a boat.
I really
I took the second showcase.
They showed me the character sheet with the fleet. I needed the fleet.
Now you can investigate
okay.
a little bit here. You certainly also, Pontiac, can go find Clem, or you can go to just another place where you could get pleasure. I'm not trying to, force your hand in any way, but you let me know what you'd like to do. You're like, this is not the place I went before. Clearly, it's been taken over by another gang.
Maybe he'll just kind of stroll up and be like, is Clem around?
Clem does not work here anymore.
Oh, did she move on to another establishment?
This is Nyrix's house now.
Nyrix's house.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, is
who are you, pretty?
Call me Murmur.
Oh, Murmur! I would love to make you murmur. I would like to make you grunt and mumble.
It's as enticing as an offer as that sounds.
We miss the Taikarosi boys.
Yes, well, we miss you as well. However, I think I walked into the wrong place this evening. If you see Clem, tell her Murmur stop by, and he'll walk.
Clem
out.
is not going to come here.
Oh, he turns.
She knows if she comes here, Nyrix.
I understand.
Shaves her neck close.
Yes. Well, it's a shame. Cost of doing business, I guess. Well, tell Nyrex good luck with her new establishment, and then he'll slide out the door.
Okay.
And now he's
all of them are watching you now as you walk out, because these are criminal gangs who have any time. Like, if a John comes in and does what a John's supposed to do, they're like, great, a customer. But when people come in and go, oh, and then walk out, it's like
right.
These girls are all kind of keeping an eye on you now.
Right. Yeah.
They don't know who you are. They don't know who you are, but they, you can tell as you're leaving that all of them are watching you.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to go elsewhere. Just looking at possible other purveyors of pleasure vice. Maybe I could go to a casino, the Silver Stag Casino, or the Red Lamp. Is a brothel called the Red Lamp.
Yeah, you could go to the Red Lamp. The Red Lamp is pretty pricey.
Well, I'm flush with coin.
Great. Do you want to go to the Red Lamp?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the Red Lamp. I feel I feel like we're all overspending though. Like we're newly up jumped, and so we feel like, maybe we can take ourselves out tonight. So after being stymied here at Clem's old joint, I'm gonna go to the Red Lamp and spend some money.
Great. You go to the Red Lamp, and we'll see. And maybe it won't hurt your purse too much. The Red Lamp, they are also known for having. I mean, it's a luxury joint. It's also a casino, and they have every type of person to while away the time with that you could possibly imagine. So here you are able to find a woman that looks a little bit like your recent lover, the person that you had this strong empathic connection with. And are you rolling one die just like our other friends?
Yeah, well, I think I don't have any attributes or any pips in my lowest one. So I think I roll 2 and take the lower.
That's correct. Yeah.
Brutal. In terms of what I actually want to do, though, it's kind of similar to what Marco does. Rather than wanting to have sex with this woman. He wants to. He pulls out some trance powder and wants to like have a religious experience with this woman and like see if he can remember kind of what happened with Margette.
Okay, that's incredible. Okay, so great. I'm gonna say because it's such an expensive place. If the roll, well, how many stress are you trying to clear?
Oh God, 8. I'll never.
Oh, okay, so there's no way to overindulge. Never mind.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and see how you do. And I'll let you know.
All right, roll 2. Oh. God, this was exactly what I was hoping wouldn't happen. I got a 6 and a 1.
Oy.
That's
Okay.
so brutal. You only
I'm
get
gonna-
2 activities.
I'm gonna narrate it thusly. You
I love it.
you
I will
start
narrate it thusly.
for a moment with the trance powder. For a moment, it's Margette. It's her. You're like Jimmy Stewart in Vertigo, where you're trying to make the other woman like into what's her name, Kim Novak. Like
yes.
you're like it's her, and you almost have that sort of empathic connection. But then like she says something to you. She's like, "What are you doing?" And then it's like not her, it's not Margette's voice, and it's wrong. It's just wrong, Pontiac. It's fucking wrong. And you make some sort of a scene, I think. What kind of a scene would you make? Would Murmur make?
I cut her throat. No.
Ah!
Oh no.
So sorry, old habit. That's how I killed the real Margette. No, he maybe like does get a little violent though. Like he like tries to strangle her maybe to like, and then realizes, well, what am I doing?
Yeah, wow. That is dark, but I love it. So you lunge at her, and of course, violence against anybody here at the Red Lamp is expressly forbidden. And so I can't believe I'm going to do this to you, but I mean, I feel like you need some kind of role, because the bouncers at the Red Lamp are not taking you. They're not kicking you out the front like they did with Marco Coyle. They're taking you in the back right now.
Yeah, I knew this was going to happen, but I'm unstable and I'm haunted. This is what he does. It's just, he's just strangling. All right, so what am I rolling here?
You got to tell me how you would handle this situation. I'm going to tell you that there are, let's see how many guys.
I'm nervous for you. This is
So
I
they
can't
said
handle it.
when she started screaming, what she did was, and because you were on trance powder, you weren't able to deal with it as quickly. She rang a bell. 5 bouncers show up. This is a nice place. And they are pulling you out, and they are taking you down a back stairwell. So you have to tell me how you would deal with it.
It's crazy because like my go-to thing would be to try to sway them, but it's like in my mind, I think with Pontiac, when I sway too much, I start to lose parts of myself, and that's what happened in the last mission. So he has to, like, limit the amount of time he uses this mesmerism. At the same time, he knows he's in a desperate position, so he might. I think he's going to try and sway them. Be like, oh no, it's not like that. I just she liked it rough, and I took it the wrong way. I got a little too excited.
Risky.
It'll never happen again.
Risky, but if you succeed, it's going to be standard effect. They're going to let you go.
All right.
Come on, dude. Come on, dude.
Come on, Pontiac needs a new pair of shoes. 4.
Okay, a 4. That's a success with consequences. The success with consequences is this. You are lightly beaten up. Not enough to give you more harm or even stress. You eliminate that one stress. You are they kind of like spend an hour like kicking you, and you guys or you are not welcome in the Red Lamp ever again.
That's a consequence.
That's exactly what I thought. Yeah. Like, you nailed it. It's like, we'll let you go, but you're not allowed back here.
You know, the best part of that repercussion is like, now I've lost 2 potential places to indulge.
Right. Yeah.
Like Clem's not running that place anymore, and now you go to one of the main places. I'm not allowed there. That's going to cause problems down the line. Might have to retire Pontiac after the next mission.
Turn yourself in and reduce our heat.
Thanks for
There
taking
it
one for the
is.
team there, boy.
How
yeah.
sick is that's an option? You can turn yourself in, reduce our heat, bring a new character to the session, and everybody wins.
It's like it never happened. Yeah.
Except obviously Pontiac.
And you certainly have that option. I mean, like it even says in the book, like if you feel like your guy's getting kind of, really kind of messed up. And I started you guys, I think we started on hard level with some extra harm and stuff.
Yeah.
If you feel like that's happening and you need like a new fresh young face to join the gang and then get completely corrupted and destroyed, you're welcome to bring that person into our world. But now I will ask Archibald Gray, your second downtime activity. What would you like it to be?
Well, Jared, I'm glad you asked. I have been tortured for the last 30 minutes over two things. And I think I made the call. But the thing is, I need your permission. So basically, we don't really have a line on an exact next score yet, right? Like there's nothing clear, crystal clear.
No, and something might come out of these, vice indulging or like working on your projects, or you may just kind of ask me questions once we're done with everybody's downtime activities.
So I really love this storyline that's developing where he's in a desperate need. Within 1 week, he needs to score a good deal of spark. Now, that could just be an easy thing, or it could be a score. It's sort of up to you how you portray it. But here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I'm back and forth between. I'm good on stress and I'm good on harm. Like right now, he is feeling the best he's felt in years right now. So now he's spending all his time calculating. How do we get the gang ahead? How do I keep moving up in my long-term activities? So one option is the easy option, which is use my consort ability to, maybe talk to somebody I know who is in with the blue coats, who is keeping an eye on these gangs and who might have been at the murder scene, and arrange for some documents to disappear. So reduce heat for the gang.
Right. Okay.
That's the easy fallback. The thing that I'm interested in, if we can sort of plan the next score ahead of time, is I might want to acquire an asset. And what I'm thinking is acquire a temporary in to some sort of drug ring that could not only get me the spark that I need, but maybe get us a steady supply that we can like consistently work off of. Now, I don't know if we want to be drug dealers. This is something obviously the other characters have to be involved in.
Well, you're smugglers, so it would,
right. Like moving drugs should be one of our things.
Yeah. Now, I would say, you can always look on your sheets in Blades in the Dark because they give you all those great connects and contexts. And this is also probably something you're bringing to the crew.
Right.
Archibald.
Exactly.
So like and I know we just mentioned one drug dealer who didn't talk when they pulled him in. He didn't talk about you at any rate. So maybe it's him or maybe it's somebody else. But let me know, like acquiring an asset. Here's what I'll tell you. You can, if you want to try the acquire an asset action, you can even just like get your hands on some spark, right? Like you could get some spark.
I thought about that. I was like, you know what? Does Jared not want this to be a score? And I could just like try to settle this little thing now. That's cool. That is totally cool with me. I just didn't know the level to which this job would, if we were setting up a desperate score or if we were setting up the second downtime activity. Do you know what I mean?
I went what you want. Joe. So I am agnostic on that. If you want it to be a score, the potential for a reward would be larger because I think that you would get a regular like source that where you're moving the drug, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to just set up this thing with Lucius by just getting him the spark, that may lead to another score down the road.
Right.
You could just acquire the asset, give it to him, and see what comes out of that.
Well, why don't let's role play it for a second. So let's say we're in the hideout. We're in the Tin Whistles hideout.
Mm-hmm.
We're on the ship. And he's talking to both of you guys, and he just lays out the situation. You guys heard it, you know what's all going down. And he's just like, Well, I've got a friend who's got a friend that might be able to put a little heat off our back, get rid of some of the evidence from that crime scene, that sloppy one we left behind. My fault. Guilty. But I think we might be able to there's an opportunity here. My man Lucius needs a bit of spark, and I think if I get him once, he might be satisfied for a little while, but then he's going to need it again. You know that. So as smugglers, I think, why don't we get a steady wave of this stuff coming through? Because not only could we get it for Lucius, we could get it for your contacts there, Marco. We could get it for your contacts, Pontiac. It makes us a bit more of a player. I don't know. And it seems like it wouldn't be that dangerous. It might not lead to murder if we do it the right way. There could be no bodies. And that's what I'm looking for. I want to keep us as clean as possible while, slowly taking over the underworld. Well, what do you guys think?
Maybe it's something we could find a way to produce ourselves. So you you acquire it now, keep him wet, and then we work on let's call it a long-term project.
Interesting turn of phrase.
Bring in some of our own people to produce the stuff, or an equivalent here in our new hideout. And then we're the best spark dealers in town.
Very interesting. But it really is our specialty, moving these drugs, not necessarily making them. I don't know the first thing about making these things.
Well, neither do I, but that's why we find the people that do. Then we control the production and the distribution.
Right.
Seems like a lot of work. If we're already moving it, you skim a little off the top and give to your connect. Keeps our heat down. And if some goes missing along the way, into the pockets of old Marco Coyle, then perhaps no one's the wiser.
Good point, Pretty.
Oh, it is, but we don't know who we're messing with, right? We're already paying, what's his name, off just to do jobs on this turf. I don't know. We won't be necessarily in debt to some drug dealer, and just because Marco peels a bit off for himself. No offense, Marco, but as smooth as you might be, as pretty as you might be, you might not talk us out of that one. We might get ourselves in a real jam with someone we don't want to be an enemy to. I don't know.
Gotta admit, charms have been failing me of late. Lady Nyrix kicked me out of her establishment the other night.
You're shitting me.
Yes, I was roughed up at the Red Lamp myself.
What were you doing at the Red Lamp? You can't afford that.
Well, it's a long story, but I ended up choking a prostitute.
No, that's just bad form, that is. Unless,
mate.
We were doing
between consenting adults and all that.
We were snorting trance powder. Things got weird.
Well, I guess the question is this. Let me make it as simple as possible. And listen, I've got no opinion on the matter either way. Do we want to patch this little problem I've got at the racetrack? Yes, this man is what he needs. And perhaps it will lead to something down the line. Or do we want to make our next score drug-related, spark-related, smuggling-related? Is that going to be the next thing we do on our next move? Or do we just patch the problem for now and think about it more later? I'm not in a rush either way. I just want to make sure that we fly under the radar as long as we can.
Might be the way to easy coin. You get enough coin, you can start doing what you want to do. I don't know if I want to get into the drug business. It's a dirty business.
It is. It attracts the worst sorts, doesn't it?
I don't want it near schools.
Oh yeah, you don't want to be with those that are users of illicit substances. It's the riffraff of society, them.
Right. Well, you know what? Think on it. We could change our mind later. We don't need necessarily jump in the deep end off the first. Maybe we learn a little bit about this business before we jump in too deep. And so he'll spend his time, let's call it acquiring an asset, which is really just a very, very temporary thing, not even for a score.
Right.
He's going to acquire a drug dealer that we don't have yet to keep himself kind of clean.
Great.
You just make a transactional amount to keep Lucius Dabbs happy for a while.
There we go.
Great. So let's see here. I think.
So basically, on this kind of roll, you're determining the quality of the resource that you get.
Yes.
So I'm looking for a good quality of spark. This is sort of what he promised, that this guy, this hooded, cloaked guy with the chains, was going to bring him some dirty stuff, and he wants to bring him the good shit. So he's hoping to get that 4 or 5 range, and if he gets lower, maybe it's just a crappy batch. I don't know. And if it's a 6.
Yeah, that's how we'll play it, because I'm looking here and it's like I could set what the quality level has to be, but I think you're gonna find out what the quality level is, and you can decide whether you want to give it to Lucius. So I think that you have and that I'm not going to tell you the name of the guy until we figure out what connect you figure out here, Archibald. So I want the roll first.
Okay, so are we now tier 1? After that job?
Yeah, I mean, you guys filled your XP, so
we're tier 1.
I believe that yes, you are tier 1. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Then it's 1 die. Here we go.
It's 1 die.
You roll your tier, so it's 1 die.
Roll for drug quality.
Yeah,
what
seriously,
a great game.
I'm rolling for the quality of the drug. This is great.
Product.
This is freaking great. This die has done well for me tonight. 3.
A 3. Okay.
Middle of the road. Now, I can spend a coin to raise. Wait, it just says you can spend coin to raise this or beyond critical, but you can always spend a coin to raise the result of a 3 to a 4/5. Don't know that that's worth it for us. You know what? I'm not going to spend it.
Well, so just so you know, 1 to 3 is a result of tier -1. So you're going to be giving him 0 level quality spark.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the tier. I didn't know.
Which you certainly can. You certainly can.
Best 7 town.
Hey, this is oregano.
It's spark, but it's spelled differently.
Yeah.
This is a lot of coin to use, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it because I don't think it can be underestimated how important this is to his personal aspirations, but also I think it's good for him to know and good for the crew to know what good quality spark is for future reference. So I'll spend a coin to increase the quality to tier 1. Commensurate with our operation,
right?
Not below our standards,
right? Yes, it is. It is your standard. It is the best that you can kind of procure right now. And it makes sense. You don't have a lot of drug connects, right? You kind of basically gone out into the city asking around, and this is what you were able to find. So I think you find a guy named Averick in Barrow Cleft, who is, he screams suspicious type, and he's not quite careful enough. Like, that's how you were able to find him, Archibald. Like, he's literally like the type of guy who opens his coat to people he doesn't know in like alleyways. And
Archibald introduces himself as Styx Gavrix or whatever the name of the other jockey that you gave us.
Styx Galen.
Styx Galen. He's like, Styx Galen, pleasure to meet you.
Yeah. What can I do for you? Averick has everything, every type of mind-altering substance, stuff to make your skin crawl or your eyes bawl, tears of joy. Talk to Averick. What can I do for you?
Just a little spark, mate. That's all. Nothing too crazy.
Spark. Okay. I can get spark. How much do you need?
Well, I need 3 ounces. I don't know. What the fuck?
Okay. Well, of course, that's what a weird open-ended question for you. But he's
all
like, he's like, okay. I mean, all of it. He's like, okay.
Yeah. All you got, because what's a coin? A coin is no joke in this world, man.
8 hours. I need 8 hours.
All right. Can I roll a survey just to see if he's using 8 hours to lie to me or to try to screw me over?
I think you should. Okay. I think you should if you'd like.
6.
6. Okay. So this guy can get it. but he's a little desperate, and he can tell you're of like a little bit, like you're like at his level or above, and he's looking for inroads into new opportunities. So when he's asking you like where to meet you and stuff like that, he's hoping like he's going to get an invite to your headquarters, or he's going to get introduced to some of you, maybe even your buyer introduced himself. Like he's trying to suss out opportunities for himself.
Okay. Does he seem like a junkie?
He does not seem like a junkie, but as I said, the problem with him is that he seems like an amateur a little bit. Like he's being too open about what he's doing. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool. Good to know. As long as I don't think that he's like deliberately trying to screw me over by taking the time. 8 hours is fine, mate. Take the time you need. I've got a week, so just get it to me tomorrow, and we're all good. And hey, if it works out well, if the buyer likes it, maybe we can talk again.
Right. Yeah. I love a repeat customer, someone you can trust, someone you don't have to, keep looking over your shoulder for their friends, Where should I bring the stuff?
Well, bring it to, let's make it easy. Bring it outside Charhallow Downs. You know the racetrack, right?
That I do.
I'll
see you there tomorrow.
Noon. It's very crowded. We'll pass by on the floor there just as the bets are coming in. We'll do a little pass swipe. You know what I mean?
No problem. I hide the stuff in a very ingenious device that hides, and he just starts loudly talking about how he hides his drugs.
He's going to hide drugs.
Okay. We are going to move on. We are going to resolve that before the end of the session, but we're going to talk to Marco Coyle. What is your second activity, Marco Coyle?
Well, I got this dagger wound. I think I got to deal with this.
So someone needs to,
I got to deal with this.
Yeah. Yeah. So your healer, which you have to like get a PC to use Tinker to help you, or you have to like acquire a Physiker.
I can do that. I can roll Tinker.
Yeah. So maybe our friend Archibald can kind of help you out. Do you want to try Archibald?
Yeah. Let's go to the jockey MD.
Marco, you've got too much heat on you. You can't be out here in a hospital. Let me take a look. I think I might be able to help you.
All right.
So when we fill your healing clock, which is a four quadrant clock, all of your harm will go down one level. Does that make sense, Ross? So anything that's a level 1 harm will disappear from your sheet. Anything that's level 2 will go down to level 1, and so on. And we're going to have our Physiker here make a roll and see how he does. If he rolls a 1 to 3, he'll only get 1 segment of the clock. 4 to 5, 2 segments. 6, 3 segments. And a critical would be 5 segments. How much Tinker do you have?
I have 1.
Okay, so it's impossible to heal to get a critical right now, but
we could if we rolled a 6 and spent a coin.
Yes, exactly.
So there is a coin to spend on this, depending on what I roll. And do what you need to do. Here we go.
All right.
Let me take a look at it. He starts poking around.
Okay, I just take a belt of some like mysterious brown liquor and
and he just gives you a stick to bite on.
All right, do it, man.
And he starts digging in.
Oh 5. God! Oh shit! That's really great. So
if we spend a coin to a 6, we can reduce it too, can't we?
That's correct. So if you spend a coin and bring it up to a 6, you'll get that final segment, and everything will be reduced by 1 level.
Oh, can we please?
It's worth it. It's totally worth it.
So that's that's 10.
Clear.
I've used 2. That's 1 for you. Did you guys use 1 in either?
I used 1 at the red line.
All right. So
wait, no. So did you turn it into a 6? You only get 3 segments. I'm so sorry, guys.
Oh,
we got to do this. Yeah, crit is 4 segments. So if you're spending the coin, it'll just be get 3 segments on his healing clock.
Oh,
now that'll stay. It'll remain that much healed until next time you recover. But it's not. He's going to go into the next job with that harm.
So the harm is still at level 2 until that clock is filled?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, they really slow down. What
So
you can
this
do.
should, and we've already had conversation about this. This should really determine how you choose your next score.
Yeah, what kind of scores you do. Yeah, we
Yeah.
should just do the drug one. Keep it simple. No, but regardless of what it is, we should keep it simple. We can't fight too much here.
Keep it simple.
See, this is gonna be interesting because we all have little things going on. It'll be interesting, like just like last time, to see what way we end up going.
Yeah.
Pontiac has something interesting he'd like to do for his final downtime activity.
Okay.
Did we spend the coin to do it?
No,
to 3
let's
segments?
not spend
No?
the coin. Let's
Okay.
do 2 segments, and then we
Healing
can
clock is at 2.
we
You're
can work on
halfway
this
there.
again next time. And because we have a lot of options, we could acquire an asset that could help us with it, a physiker. We could also maybe buff that roll by 1 next time. So yeah, let's keep the coin for the moment.
All right.
Marco, your face is pristine. You're still as pretty as ever, but the wound is taking a long time to heal. And holy shit, I love a game where healing is something that almost is a little bit more like real life. Where if you got stabbed in the back, it might take a while before you feel 100%.
I take a second belt of it and like turn around to Archie and I'm just like, magnificent man. Feel good as new. And then you see me putting on my coat and it's like
Oh, the pathos. Pontiac Zoe. Pontiac Zoe, what is your second downtime activity?
All right, so I probably should relieve more stress, but that's no fun. So I want to work on a long-term project, but I got to bring it to the crew first.
Okay.
I got to pitch it to the crew. So I tell them to meet me at the Foghound's boat, our boat now.
Mhm.
So I come in last, and I walk in, I'm like, all right. So
We've been here for 4 hours.
I'm sorry.
What are you doing?
I got lost. I'm not used to coming
Barrow
down these
Cleft.
boats. Yeah,
The boat is docked in Barrow Cleft. It's a little ways away from Coleridge.
I never come to Barrow Cleft. I'll get used to it. But here's the thing. I have an idea. We have this boat, which is all well and good. Word of the Foghound's demise has no doubt spread all over Duskwall, and the tin whistles are on everyone's lips. We're known as an ambitious crew. We should continue to keep up that reputation. Here's what I'm proposing. Again, we have this boat. What are we going to do with it? It's going to be a little bit of time until we can actually use it for what it's needed. I think we should turn it into a brothel. I know, yes, I know brothels. I know the area, and I know that we could do good business here, and it serves many purposes. 1, easy coin, especially on the docks here. We dock it, we let the sailors know where to go. Constant stream of customers. 2, information, connections. People sometimes just like to hang out at brothels. They're not even conducting business. They're just making friends. We'll be those friends. And, if we pay off the right people, maybe they'll leave us alone. We're on the water, after all. I think we could do a lot of good things here. It's going to be a bit of a long-term project, but I think we could make this boat work for us. What do you think?
Well, let me just say, I like it. Out of the gate, devil's advocate. We are a smuggling organization. We finally got a boat. We know where that rock is. We know we're going to have obligations to. Who were they, Jared? The ones from the last score.
Lord
Strangford's boys.
Lord Strangford and his boys. I mean, we made all but promise them that we're going to be using this boat to move between. Now, if you're saying we can still run jobs to the rock,
absolutely,
and be back, and still have this magical house brothel or this boat brothel boat.
Yes, it'll be boat themed. Everything.
It'll be boat themed brothel. As long as it don't need to stay in one place, I'm fine with it. I think you're right about the exchange of information. I think you're right about the clientele. I think it's easy to get sailors and to hear what they have to say.
Make a lot of connections, and we're closed on Sunday. On Sunday, we're going to make our run.
Right, you're not wrong, but it's going to attract attention. It's going to attract attention to the boat as something that's, not exactly up to snuff. I don't
And
know.
you got people, you got folk coming and going. Then, even if we drag them out into the waters, you take them back. That's more and more people who know what the foghound looks like. It's more and more lips to wag.
It's true.
But if we do it well, Marco, if he's saying that we don't try to do it tomorrow, we try to do it long term. So we're
bringing some people who monitor who comes in and who comes out. So when we know when problems arise, we can trace it back to where those problems came. And
can I throw in a little bit?
please?
No, I'm sorry.
Yes.
So let's.
Oh no, it's Bear.
It's Bear.
Shit.
We're closed.
Denied. So there are a couple. I love this idea, and just so you know, rules wise, there's a couple ways that it could work. So one is that you could seize a claim. You could seize a claim over someone else's brothel, and that would sort of like give you their sex workers, and you could move them onto your boat, or however we want to explain it in the fiction. This would be some sort of score, right? And so, secret GM, could I see your claim map? See their claim map for the Tin Whistles here?
Yeah, we did the one to the south, which was Fleet.
Yeah, I saw one called Vice Den, which
Yes.
we wonder, like, if we acquire the turf, then could we go for the Vice Den, and that could be part of this long-term project.
Well, I think we can skip the turf, right? But there's an
Yes.
increase in difficulty to get it.
Right.
That's exactly right. So
awesome.
at this point, Nyrix, might be who you go after, or maybe you go after the Red Lamp, or maybe you go after someone we haven't met yet. But you could kind of steal their workers. You could kind of, and bring them over to your side somehow. Bring them over to your operation somehow. The other thing that you could do, just throwing this out here, is you could just get sex workers from someplace else that aren't allowed to be in the city, who are illegally coming to Duskfall, and get them into the city. That would be a
Ghost sex
operation.
workers.
Yes, that'll be our theme.
That's our thing. Boat ghost sex workers.
Exactly. Or as you mentioned already, this could just be your downtime activity, Pontiac. You could just start a long-term project to kind of build this business. So
That's
there's
what I'm thinking.
three ways to go about it. Now the boat, I must also add, although it is very sleek and fast and maneuverable, and it did carry a crew of 10, it is not a yacht. It's not like a place that people would necessarily want to indulge.
There's probably only like 2 cabins,
Right. And there are just like cold steel cabins. It's not exactly Leonardo DiCaprio in The Wolf of Wall Street.
Well, that's why it's a long-term project. You're gonna build a couple more cabins. It's but the thing is like, it's part of the experience is you get to get away. You take the boat out into the water. Maybe you get done what you need to do. It comes back. So for people who really need that element of sneaking away,
now that you say it,
fetish for ductwork and flywheels and low ceilings.
could really.
You know what?
Sailors right up their
might not
alley.
care either. Sailors might be like, yeah, I mean, this works for me. I don't need
it's just giving me an interesting idea. What if brothel is only one part of this boat? What if we get a bunch of tables on it? What if we can expand it enough to make it a casino boat? So you're not only, doing some tricks on the side, but you got some table games. You got a few slots, maybe. And he's a gambler. That's his vice.
We're talking about turning this boat into some sort of pleasure barge.
Well, why not, mate? I think it might be even more lucrative than running for a Strangford and Friends. But of course, we don't want to, turn that down, at least for the time being. But like we said, it's a long-term project. We've got to think ahead. You got to have a 5-year plan. You got to have a 10-year plan. Otherwise, what we're doing here?
We are ambitious.
There you go. I mean, here we go. Do you want to start this project? Is this happening? And do we agree to all? I mean, maybe Marco also wants there to be fighting.
Yeah.
Bare knuckle boxing.
Okay, so
an area where you can have like pit fighting arena,
table games, slots, sex workers, bare knuckle boxing, prize fighting, all on the boat, and we just go offshore. You have party night, and then you come back, and everybody has to go home.
We're gonna run
is
this down.
This is a 6-segment clock because I think there's a lot that needs doing here.
Yeah. We
there's
could hire
been restructuring. Yeah.
But you can go ahead and roll to see how much of it you get done this time. You had the meeting with your friends and your crew. You've all agreed to try this new venture, and so we are going to roll.
Would you call that I was like consorting with them to decide if this was going to be a plan, or is that like what I did with them? Is that the relevant role for the start of this clock, or is it more?
I think that it's all consorting because I think that like the first thing that you had to do was not only talk to the other tin whistles, you had to start having conversations with a lot of different people, right? Like, kind of bringing them in on it. And so I will allow a consort. Yeah, Joe.
I would like to argue that he could do another die on that roll because I am a friend and I am highly trained in consort, so I should be able to help him.
I'm going to allow it
on that roll.
I think that makes total sense. So once you get old Archie on board and he's able to do a little planning and come in and like, also help you kind of like grease some palms, sweet talk some people who can kind of help you start acquiring the people that are going to fix this place up, put in the game stuff. Yeah.
That's the thing is like we need construction done, like first and foremost.
We're gonna build it out. This is why you gotta watch Ozark. It's all all right. All right, so that's
well for them, right?
That's
right. That really was a spoiler.
Fantasy Ozark.
All right, here we go. Okay. 3 5s.
5 is great.
Wow.
So
critted the 5s.
So five was your highest. So that's 2 segments of your 6-segment clock. So I'm gonna say that you guys have like outfitted the 2 cabins now, like so that like someone might want to spend the night in there. If you you know what I'm saying, the room that used to be like for maps and like planning like routes and stuff now has like a roulette table in it.
Goldie would be furious.
The fog hounds in general would be like disgusted, but you're turning the thing into a I love this, turn ship into pleasure barge.
We call it the skin whistle.
Skin whistle. Oh God.
But now everybody has done their downtime activities. We have come to 2 hours, and so I'd like to just do one final scene, and it might take a couple rolls, or it might just take a little conversation between you all. I don't know yet. What is your next score?
We got to keep Marco safe. So Marco,
we got to keep Marco safe. Here's the other thing: we also don't have to, as I'm reading it, we don't have to jump to the score instantly. I want to do it immediately. I know we're at 2 hours, but I did this last time. I spent a coin to do another activity.
You can certainly, and I don't want to. Yeah, you can spend a coin to do another.
Can I spend a coin to do another attempt, maybe a day or two later, on Marco's wound?
Absolutely, you can. And don't let me forget. I have to narrate what happens when you meet with Averick at Char Hollow Down.
Right. To do the
man,
yeah.
I forgot about this coin thing. So that changes.
So we didn't end up spending that coin to increase it from 2 to 3.
Right.
So we'll spend it to try to get another roll. Now I could just fail, but I could also get one. The worst case scenario is 1 segment.
Right. Yeah.
Wow. So why wouldn't you just spend the coin for the additional attempt? Sorry, I'm just like thinking out loud about the mechanics. I'm trying to wrap my head around it.
Later, if you were like tier 2, I'm not sure.
At least at that point, you could guarantee certain things, but I guess. But all right, okay, here we go. Let me try it again, mate. I think I can help you out. 6.
There it is.
Yes. Are you shitting me right now?
God damn it. Fucking stuff like that. This is amazing. Okay, so a 6, not a critical, but a 6, right?
Yeah.
Oh, should we spend a coin to make it a critical? Stop. What? What do you mean stop? You mean have Marco Coyle, the most important single person in all of our operations, down 1, or like totally healed, dude?
Yeah, totally
Well,
healed
actually,
is good.
wait. Does he need a critical? Let's see. He had 2 segments done, and it's a 4-segment clock. And then your 6 just got you 3 segments. He's healed.
So a critical is it just gets you another one to 4. That's what a critical
I
does.
think so. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So so did those tier 2s then double
to tier 1s?
Okay.
They're still there, but they dropped to tier 1s.
That's
Okay.
great.
Tier 1s disappeared.
Dude, yeah. Okay.
So you just see like I'm just like and then maybe like you just see like me pulling a stitch out, like hang on to this for safekeeping, won't I? Yeah. Well done, man.
Right, you're back in the fight, and that's where we need you. You ready? You feel good?
Like
What a dangerous posse of roughnecks you all are.
Yeah. Well, then what is it? What's next? I mean, we've got the long-term pleasure barge out there. What gets us closer to that?
I'm going to narrate this scene at Charhallow Downs just to give you another.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
No, just to give you another option, and then you guys can talk and do whatever you like. But basically, when you arrive at Charhallow Downs, Averick has the aforementioned amount of spark for you. Spark, of course, is sort of like a glowing blue fluid that kind of faint. If you put it in the dark, it faintly glows. And he, as he said, has it in this like. It looks like it's a book. He's very proud of it, and he hands you the book. But the book is heavy and jangles a little bit, and he's like, "So, is this for you or a friend?"
I'm just passing it along. It's not for me. I don't use myself. Never found it very interesting. Get my highs in other ways.
I might enjoy the festivities here today myself.
Oh, please, by all means. I mean, it's good for what ails you, right?
Absolutely. Pleasure doing business with you. And he moves into the track. So you can now pass this on to Lucius Dabbs if you'd like.
Yeah, he'll pass it on to Lucius. He'll come up to him with this book, and he's just like, Lucius, I know you're a man of finer tastes. And as I promised you before, I said I'd bring you final reporting. But you know what? At the end of the day, all the best writers, all the best journalists end up writing novels anyway, don't they? Here's a full novel, mate. And he hands over a book, a big old thick book, full of drugs.
Yes. Lucius Dabbs says,
Tier one.
I'm sure it will be good reading. Then he asks you if you'd like to, hey, you want to get the view from the top of the bleachers? I find that it gives you a whole new perspective on how these beautiful animals ply their talents across our track.
Top of the bleachers. I've never quite been up there myself. I'd love to. Appreciate it.
Follow me. And he does, in fact, walk you up to where you at the very top where you can kind of look out over like the rest of the city. Like that's how much they pack people in here.
Wind's blowing.
Yeah, and it's the cheap seats, it's the cheap seats. And there's an area where nobody is sitting except for one guy, and it's the Eruvian I mentioned earlier.
Shit.
And Lucius hands the Eruvian the book. And he flips it open, and he looks at he kind of, you guys are pretty much like behind a big pillar here. Like you're not like way out in the open. He looks at the spark briefly.
I just want to say, I love the guys that like in those public situations are so badass and confident that they don't even care. Around because they just know that no one up here is going to mess with them because this is like people that don't talk. I just love those moments in movies and stuff where people are just like, you're in our territory now.
Maybe that is the situation. Suffice to say, no one even scattered around the bleachers up here turns their head. He nods at Lucius, but then he says something to him, and it's, like the cheers go up and you can't quite hear it. And then Lucius says, we were hoping for a thicker book. We need a lot of spark? And the Aruvian goes, yes, I believe that I will need quite a bit to get my formula exactly perfected. Lucius goes, Archibald, are you interested in hearing about a sure thing?
I'm always interested in a sure thing, Lucius. You know that. You know me.
Well, I know this takes some of the sportsmanship out of, the sport that we enjoy, but there are times when you put some money on one of the horses and it has to win. Aren't there times like that?
More times than not. Yes.
Well, my friend Sethla here, and the guy is holding the book. Sethla, yeah, he goes. Sethla, well, he's made a long and in-depth study of the biology of horses, haven't you, Sethla? Among other things. And he thinks that the right amount of spark, if mixed with certain other ingredients, could perhaps put a spring in the step of the right pony. But I would need a large amount to experiment with. This may not be enough. Do you think you could get us a really big book? A trilogy? Why, a decology?
Of course I could. I've got the contacts. You said this is just tip of the iceberg, mate. It's all good. You got what you need. I love I've got access to an entire library. Have no worries. I've got you covered.
Mr. Gray, bring me the library. and Lucius is like, and we can make sure that you see some of our good fortune. Some of it rubs off on you. So the crowd's cheering again, screaming, and nobody heard this conversation. And so now we really have come, perhaps, to the end of our session. But I will allow the final conversation, and I don't want to try to sway you in one way or the other. There's a lot of stuff floating out there. You may want to go grab a thread from back before, in an earlier session, and say this is what we want to pursue. But I would like to know what your next score is going to be. And if you need to ask me questions or investigate something a little more, and you don't mind hanging out a little longer, we can take the time to do that.
We've definitely got a little time. This is insane that this is part of this amazing marathon. By the way, we haven't mentioned it in a while, but we are doing. I mean, we're still going all night long. So,
awesome!
Wow,
we've got a little time.
Like 10 a.m. tomorrow.
Yeah, we've got a little time here.
I've got a little time.
Great. But we are hopping on after this with another stream on our channel at the Glass Cannon over there on Twitch. So check us out there if you want to see a little late night Crusader Kings 3.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Late night Crusader, just Crusader Kings 3 after dark. Gets weird. So we have time. There's no rush.
Better than getting into the intricacies of Salic law.
Yes. But thank you. You know,
you with an Angevin Pope. Oh, brother.
The Lollards are causing trouble.
Not that we're leaving. I'm not leaving anytime soon. I have a lot to talk about about this situation right here, but I just wanted to real quick right now say thank you guys so much for being a part of this stream and for being a part of this donation drive that we're doing. It's just really awesome to have Stream of Blood involved, and we're excited to play with you guys and to have you as part of this long, almost 24-hour day that we're doing of streaming. So we just dropped the link in Clint dropped the link in the chat again. So if you click on that, if you got a couple bucks, $1, $3, anything you can do to chip away. And it's not just us, and it's not just our team. It's the whole world today. Everybody's donating to children's hospitals. So a couple bucks really matters because everybody's doing it today. And what a great day it is today. And to keep that day going, I think is really awesome. So help us out if you can. Now, to get back to the business at hand. if we have a little time, I'm going to throw a little curveball. This is something I didn't discuss with you, Jared, and I don't mean to step on your toes with your ideas. I think you've got great ideas for how to set up what scores may come. But there's one thing I never really mentioned. And it's that the one thing that Archie always hated the most about being a jockey was when the owners and the trainers mistreated the horses trying to get ahead. He never liked a lot of the humans he worked with, but he always liked the horses. He always treated them with respect. And if you remember, he talked to Goldie about it, how he felt like they were people and they shouldn't be treated like that. And so at the moment he said, absolutely, I'll get you what you need. And what he was thinking was, I'm going to take you out so you can't do this kind of thing to these horses.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So he comes back to the crew and he's like, I'm happy to listen to whatever you want to do. And this is not a priority for the crew. I know that. And if any of you who may be smarter than me can figure out how we make this something to advance our place in this city, then I'm all ears. But this guy's got to go. I don't know what he's doing. He explains what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing. And I feel like, I don't know. Look, we're not assassins. That's not what I'm trying to be. But if we can find a way to both break up this operation of illegally cheating in these horse races and also get ourselves some rep maybe with another crew, maybe it's something that's worth our time. That said, I'm happy to hear whatever you guys want to do. And then the other thing is, like, we haven't talked a lot about this, but there's a lot of crews out there. So, like, getting rep with crews is not something we've really discued, but it's in the book.
And it's something we should try to do. It's something we should try to do. And, I do have, I write down a lot of opportunity ideas and then I kind of see where you guys go and then I dangle them. But if there were crews that you wanted to talk about, if you want me to talk about the crews that are probably in your guys' like view, I could tell you, right? Like, you could just say, hey, I'm going to go talk to my information broker, or I'm going to go talk to Brill or something. And I could tell you about some of those opportunities that might allow you to get rep with crews.
Yeah. So I think that's all part of it. And I think one thing that he's saying here could be an option is if we can find a way to do a score that maybe it's a social score, because it will set maybe out this scheme to the right crew. Because you know what? There's no way there isn't another horse owner out there that isn't a crew, that isn't an underworld crime boss run horse.
Oh, of course.
So, like, if we can out that this thing is happening and earn some rep in that crew, it helps me in my long-term thing enormously. But it could also help us as a crew to get some respect for, like, almost, noble level crime bosses, the ones that are making serious money and are hobnobbing with the aristocrats.
I think that's very interesting.
So just throwing that out there. And it obviously doesn't have to be the next job. It could be a couple jobs from now. But what are you guys thinking on other possible jobs?
That's certainly an option. Seems to me that two of us have run afoul of this Nerix character in the last couple of evenings.
Right.
Who's seems that shouldn't take too kindly to the activities of the Tin Whistles. Seems to me she'll take even less kindly to him when we start taking her business, if indeed the Foghound is to become the Skin Whistle working title. But, perhaps there's a blow that we could strike to her operation, pluck up some of her employees, or just strike a blow. That's what I prefer.
It might put us a couple steps closer to the Skin Whistle.
Yeah, Clem was a good old bird. I don't know what they did to her. I hope she's all right. But she warned me before this happened that someone was encroaching. So I think I owe it to Clem to at least investigate. I didn't like the way I was treated there, to be honest. And I left abruptly, so odds are they're already looking in my direction.
And I don't want to speed you guys through anything. So if you did want to do some investigation on that, Pontiac, you can, or you can say, I think I know enough to choose a course of action here. It's up to you.
I mean, it's going to help us either way. Like, Pretty Marco had a bad run in there. Clearly, they did something shitty to Clem. And at the same time, it helps us towards this long-term project, because if we are able to take them out of business, we might be able to take their workers over as well, and their turf. So yeah, I think we're talking about taking their turf.
I think you're talking about that Vice Den claim, maybe, right? And
yes,
because it's a little ways away from you, it might be a little trickier, but
ambitious.
Yeah, it might could be.
Could be.
And so perhaps so just so we're clear, like, what are you thinking of doing? Like taking out their operation completely, starting your own operation that kind of puts them out of business by being better at it than they are. I mean, a third or a fourth option I haven't thought of. I mean, what's your thoughts?
Seems to me our operation isn't looking around the boat, like not exactly pristine enough to tempt away their clientele or even our workers. So maybe if their place of business was a little bit less pristine, might change some hearts and minds.
Man, I get what Pretty Marco's dropping. I think we should perhaps take that route.
Right, but we don't want to hurt anyone, right? Unnecessarily. Rough up the place, yes. Destroy it. Break it down to pieces. Give them nowhere to work. How do we do that without hurting no one? Also, I don't know if this... I don't want to get ahead on rolls, but like, I feel like we might not want to piss off the wrong people. Like, we need to make sure that this isn't a place that important people use that we don't know, that that might be.
I can give you a little info. I can give you a little info on that, which is that like I said, it was sort of middle class-ish, and Nyrix, if her operation is a tier above yours, it's like one tier at most, right? So if there are powerful people coming, they're slumming, and there might be some in there, but it's not the Red Lamp. Right. You're not targeting the Red Lamp, which is one of the finest establishments in all of Duskfall. You're attacking, it looks like, by the way, you guys went to two different cat houses. So it looks like she's got a couple scattered around the city. She's got a franchise. She took over Clem's and then she had one of her own. So, you're thinking of an operation that takes out multiple places at once. It's interesting. I mean, I think it's interesting. I think that's what makes it interesting. But let me know. Let me know what you think the scope of. I think I understand. You just want to like take that gang out and maybe take over that Vice Den claim on the map.
Yeah, might be very rich for our blood. If you on a slightly lower tier pitch, it might be less of a challenge. That alley dwelling creep who gave you your best-selling novel, little freakish bookbinder. Seems to me that he was trying to find out who your connect was. If we could find out who his was, we cut him out, take his product.
Right, if we want to do something a little smaller, little safer, get ourselves a small trickle of spark whenever we need it, doesn't raise too many flags, isn't too dangerous, possible, also not very ambitious, just saying. Though, I don't know, it's a good base to have.
I'll throw one other thing out there if you're thinking about Spark. Spark is made from electroplasm. So in theory, you guys could figure out how to get electroplasm like you did in your first score, and then that would, you could turn that into Spark somehow.
Very interesting. You know what?
It's tough, right? It's tough deciding your next move. I want you to go where the fun is as your game.
Honestly, I don't think it's tough. deciding what the next move is. What's tough right now is deciding how to do it. But we don't have to do that right now.
Nope.
So I think one of the things that we can do is say, if we agree on it, our next move is to oust this character at the sex worker den. What's her name?
Nyrex.
Nyrex is out. We're in. We're going to take over these two establishments and these vice dens and make them part of our crew, and that's it. Period.
This is great because
and then next
also,
time we can talk about
business.
this plan. We don't need the plan tonight. We could just say this is our thing.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably going to be more social. It's going to be fun. It's going to be like a social attack. I think it's going to be really interesting.
But think about it. We're talking about opening up our own brothel on a boat. Like by taking over her establishments, we're getting into the business with 2 already established locations. So by the time we open up our third, we'll already be deep in. We'll know the clientele.
And honestly,
know how it works.
And honestly, we're not coming at this out of nowhere. Like both of you guys have histories with sex workers. You know, you were a sex worker, Murmur. So it's like, this is a business we know. Like, why are we not expanding our operations from not only smuggling to getting into the vice business? I think
it's a little personal for me and Pretty too, because she messed with Clem and she messed with Pretty. So,
right. And then who knows? Once we have, you know, these sort of contacts, who knows what sort of cohorts we could pull out of this sort of situation, getting information whispered to the right people at the right time. We'll be Littlefinger.
So I think we've decided it. I think we have sounds really fun to me. Destroying / taking over a number of brothels across Duskfall seems very ambitious. So I will end tonight's session with this final cutscene, if I may, which Nyrex is like in her brothel, and she's got her madam's like kind of coat on. It's like a big kind of furry thing. And she's painting because, these girls, like, they're not just, Nyrex likes to have ladies who have talent, who have a skill beyond the thing that perhaps they are known for. And Nyrex is, she's a tattoo artist, and she also is an excellent painter, and she's painted a face. And the other girls are kind of watching her. Some of them are half in stupor, on trance dust or what have you. And they go, "Who is that?" And she turns the portrait to face them. And it is the face of Pontiac Zoe with completely black eyes. And she goes, "This is Pontiac Zoe. If he comes in here again, I want you to cut his throat." And then she takes a bit of red and slides it across.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Great.
Great job, Jared, as always. Phenomenal work.
God.
You guys are the most fun to play with. And I don't think I got another chance to say thank you for bringing us in on this Extra Life marathon. I've loved this game like I loved all the other games we've had with you guys, and it's cool to do it for a special reason. So
yes, indeed. Thank you so much for bringing us in. This is very cool.
And
so much fun to play with y'all.
Likewise. The best.
The Glass Cannon Network, follow them on all the socials and watch them on all the medias and the Twitches and all the places you can watch them
tonight. If you want to keep the party going, we're going live in mere minutes over at the Glass Cannon, twitch.tv/the Glass Cannon. Crusader Kings 3 late night. It's going to get weird.
Guys, they're going to get into Salic law. My players, give them a digital round of applause. They can hang out or they can split as needed. I have to go into a little bit of stream business before I say goodbye tonight. But again, thank you, Ross Bryant, Joe O'Brien, and Troy Lavallee. The best in the biz, the best in the game. All right. Tomorrow is Tomorrow is a huge day on Stream of Blood at 2 p.m. Our flagship series, Vampires of Pittsburgh, returns with a brand new storyline, new characters, new players, and a whole new set of problems in the City of Steel. We are calling this Vampires of Pittsburgh Lockdown. So I really want you to come on board for that and watch. It's a new jumping on point. If you've never watched the series before, you can watch it tomorrow. Abubakar Salim, who you might know as Father on Raised by Wolves, will be one of our players tomorrow. He also played Bayek in Assassin's Creed Origins. Raised by Wolves. Go watch that before you watch our stream tomorrow because it's so good. So we'll see you tomorrow, 2 p.m. Pacific for Lockdown, our new series. This Tuesday at 7 p.m., we are giving the Coven girls a break for the month. They're taking a little break for November, and instead we are partnering with our Talsorian Games to bring you Cyberpunk Red. This is their new role-playing game. It's not published yet. This is an advanced copy that they've given us. We're gonna run it right out of the book. I never run right out of the book, and I want to do that because this is such a great game. And our Talsorian were nice enough to kind of let us borrow their game and show it off on our stream. So please come and check out Cyberpunk Red. It's kind of tied into the video game, which people are excited about. 2077, Cyberpunk 2077. So we've got an amazing cast of people who will get gritty and neon in Chromie in the city of Night City. Stream of Blood's a podcast. Please listen to episodes of Vampires of Pittsburgh and episodes of the Neptune Society, our Call of Cthulhu game. You can listen to them now while you're driving around. So please subscribe, leave a review, and let people know how much you enjoy our stream. People come in from the podcast. They come in from the stream to the podcast and vice versa. So be sure to subscribe. Yeah, that's it. And then follow us on all the socials, Twitch, Reddit, Instagram, all that good stuff. And we have a Discord called the Server of Blood. Please go to our Discord. That's it. That's my long spiel. It gets longer and longer every time. I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah, you got a lot going on. That's a good thing.
I'm very busy. I'm a very important person with a lot of responsibilities. So see you tomorrow when we pretend to be vampires. And I love you all. Thank you again to my 3 players, and we'll bid you adieu and good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.